Listen to this video with headphones. Hi everyone, Travis Newton here from GenreVision, here to talk to you about something I've been seeing recently in the time of social distancing. More people are staying home. I see more people getting involved in projects creatively that they didn't have the time for before. So they're devoting themselves to things like podcasting, streaming, or maybe they're buying really nice equipment for their video conferences. And one of the pieces of equipment I see recommended frequently and purchased frequently is this microphone that I'm speaking into right now. This is the BLUE YETI Pro. And the BLUE YETI lineup of microphones is one of the ones I see most frequently reviewed well for beginner microphones. If you're looking to get into podcasting, what is the first microphone I should buy? And I see so many times the BLUE YETI recommended. And it ticks me off to see this microphone recommended as a good beginner microphone, because the truth is, it's not a good beginner microphone. Most of the time it's recommended based on sound quality, and I do think for the price point, the BLUE YETI sounds quite good, and it is feature-rich. It's built pretty well. However, those good reviews that talk about the good audio quality that this microphone has, all that is worthless if the user can't set this thing up correctly. And you, as a beginner podcaster, shouldn't be ashamed of the fact that you don't have the wealth of knowledge that a pro audio recordist or an audio engineer might have. That's okay. You're a beginner. Don't feel bad or ashamed that you don't know how to set up a microphone correctly. That's okay. It doesn't mean you're bad or stupid or untalented or not tech savvy. The problem is that this product is not designed in a way that invites the user to use it correctly. It does not invite a good result. And that's not your problem. It's Blue's. In my profession outside of GenreVision, I am a professional videographer, sound recordist, and all this stuff is still even complicated for me. I'm not trying to put anybody on blast here, but I've seen even media professionals buying this microphone and putting videos up on YouTube or their Twitter feeds and using this microphone incorrectly. The most frequent thing that I see that is a problem with the BLUE YETI is people just don't know how to position the microphone and speak into it. I frequently will see this sort of configuration where they'll have the microphone turned around like this so that the camera can see the Blue logo and the mute button and the monitor volume knob. But as you can hear, there's something clearly wrong, because if I just turn around and talk into the other side, the audio quality improves greatly. Now, this is because I'm using the cardioid polar pattern using the polar pattern selector knob. There are 4 distinct polar patterns in this microphone, which from an audio nerd standpoint is quite cool. But from a beginner standpoint, who gives a You just want it to sound good. You want you to sound good, and you want whatever piece of media you're making to sound good. And with this microphone, that can be difficult. It does have a mode that it'll kind of hear everything around it, not just from that side. Let's try that out. Let's switch to that. So you can hear it sounds a little bit different. And this is better if I have someone who's on one side of the microphone and then somebody who's on the other side of the microphone. But you can hear, and I can hear now, that this is a less focused, and it's actually picking up quite a bit of reflection. You can't see it on the screen, but right here on the edge of the frame is my big computer monitor. So my voice is reflecting off of that and reverberating back into the other side of the microphone. And so you're hearing a lot more of the room. You're not getting that kind of tight, focused proximity effect. Let me switch back and we can kind of compare that. Now you can hear less noise in the room, less sort of chatter and hiss, and you can hear me much better. Distance, proximity is important. My lips are probably 3-4 inches from the capsule at most. And if I back off, you can still hear me, right? But you can hear the room. You can hear reverberations. Obviously, I'm not as loud, but you can still... And when there's that sound, there's that tail of reverb. But when I'm closer to the microphone, I'm getting that really nice proximity effect where my voice sounds richer and fuller and warmer. I don't have a terribly deep voice, so that proximity effect where you get that nice boost in the bass frequencies can really help that tone and get you that radio sound. One of the troubles with that is when you have proximity to the microphone, your plosives can pop that microphone and create a really unpleasant, woofy, plosive sound. Puh. So really, if you want to get a good sound out of this microphone as a beginner, you have to know how to position the microphone correctly. You have to know which polar pattern to use. See, did you hear that plosive I just popped there? Not good. And you probably also need a pop filter. I actually don't have a pop filter to fit this microphone right now. I had one that busted, so I'm going to use the one that I use for my podcasting microphone to kind of demonstrate. So here I am able to get the proximity effect, but my plosives, my P's, my B's, my T's, my K, P, Ba, I have to try really hard to get any kind of pop. So this is an improved sound, but I have to use a pop filter. Does this look terribly good on camera? It does not. Sorry. This is why you'll see radio shows and podcast shows, like all these shows like, the Joe Rogan podcast. They use those Shure SM, I think it's the 7B, where the microphone, it looks like this, kind of, right? But it has a big fuzzy end on it to kind of help prevent those plosives. And this is how I think a lot of us understand microphones should be positioned, because we watch media and we see microphones held like this, where the capsule points directly at your friggin' gob. But with the Blue Yeti, that's not the case. You need to be talking into the side that has the blue logo on it. You need to be close, and you need to have a pop filter to get that, to make sure your plosives aren't, blasting people's eardrums out. And also, if you don't have a properly acoustically treated space, like this is just my bedroom, this isn't properly acoustically treated, this isn't a sound studio, there's all this source of sound and reverberation. However, if you use a dynamic microphone, it's actually going to pick up less of the room around you. So if you start talking off like this, you kind of, it loses you real quick. You're not going to be able to hear the rest of the room like a cardioid condenser mic would. So this is just another one of the benefits of using a mic that is not the Yeti. And you talk into the end like you assume a microphone works if you're a beginner. And it sounds good. This is one of the classic stage vocal microphones. This is the Shure SM58. I use this to record every GenreVision podcast. Another one of the things that I notice is frequently an issue with this microphone is the bass. People are going to put this on their desk, and the desk is just too damn low. You see, it's not even in frame anymore. I had to bolster this up. Look at this. I had to have a thick stack of Blu-rays to put under this microphone to get it at a decent height so that I could talk into it. So it helps to have a mic stand. But one of the issues when you don't have this on a mic stand, in addition to height, is vibration. People put their hands on their desk where their computer is because they're, during a podcast, I'll be going to IMDb, I'll be going to Wikipedia, I'll be fact-checking things while we're on the shows. And when I put my hands on the desk, you can hear a thumpa-thumpa. Not cool. Not good. That's not supposed to be in your podcast. You can put this on a microphone stand, but because vibration transmits so effectively through this microphone and up to the capsule, you get issues with vibration sounds, thumps, even when it's on a mic stand. So what Blue recommends you do is buy another piece of hardware, and it is a not cheap piece of hardware either. This is the Ringer shock mount. The bottom of the Yeti, the threaded bottom of the Yeti, screws into that, and then the Yeti microphone can either hang upside down from it like that, or you can stand it up like that. And this little screw and this little clamp for this very heavy microphone, this very solidly built, sturdy, heavy microphone, I've had this screw snap on me because the damn hinge just isn't solid enough. And if you pick this microphone up and you hold it, you're going to get handling sound. Your hand, your little fingies are going to be creaking on that stand. Not good. To summarize, if you own a Yeti and you want it to sound as good as possible, there are a couple things you need. You need to make sure that the microphone is at a correct height. So we're going to take some Blu-rays here, or we can put it on a stand with an expensive shock mount. One more thing. Trusty glass, you never know when you're going to need it. There it is. You want to make sure it is facing the correct direction when you're using the correct polar pattern, which looks like a little peach, looks like a little butt, or maybe like a little Pac-Man with its face rounded off. That is the pattern you want when you're a solo recorder, a solo speaker, solo voice. So once that is correctly set, you want to make sure you're talking into the correct side of the microphone. I do not want to see anybody doing this. Don't do this. If I catch you doing this, the Yeti Pro is designed in such a way to be feature rich, and that's cool. But feature rich is not terribly important when you're a beginner. You just want this thing to sound good out of the box and to give you the fewest, problems going forward in creating good media. It means the plug-and-play simplicity of this mic kind of contradicts how you're really supposed to use it. Can you plug it into your computer and get it to play with your computer nice almost instantly? Yeah, whether you're on a Mac or PC, it's pretty plug and play. There's not a whole lot of crap to download and install and no complicated drivers. But to actually get this thing to sound really good, it requires a lot more know-how. And that is, frankly, a pain in the ass. And my philosophy about creating art, whether it's a podcast or being a streamer, if you want to call that art, or just even having good audio and video equipment for video conferencing, is that you should have the lowest barrier to entry possible. With podcasting, the barrier to entry can be quite high because it involves knowledge of certain hardware and software to get up and running. The less of that stuff that you have to get through as a beginner, the better. You're going to have a lower barrier to entry. It's going to be easier for you to just get out there and make stuff. Regardless of if it's low quality or high quality, you're just going to be making stuff, and that's good. There are microphones, however, that just don't get the same kind of publicity because they're not as attractive on camera. This looks nice, right? This looks nice, professional, solidly built. Maybe you're better off with something else. If you wanted some recommendations as far as microphones that might simplify your life as a beginning podcaster, beginning streamer, let me know. Shoot me a tweet at the Travis Newton.